let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. These boys over here at Amazon that are writing Invincible, they shafted us. We've got a lot to discuss. We meet a new character, Mark's ultimatum, Big Head finally returns. This show is up and down like a roller coaster. We find out how truly evil Cecil is. Also, we finally get to see Mark unleashed. He is just like his father. So if you waited several months like all of us for only a few episodes, you're probably upset. And it's kind of hard to keep up with because this show goes up and down like a roller coaster. I'm ready for them to pull it all together because the way they jump around, it is essentially like you're watching 3 different shows at once. It's very interesting that they chose to go this path, especially with how successful season 1 was. They do some other odd things. It can be cool sometimes, but they just need to leave it alone and get back to their roots. For example, they damn near break the fourth wall and give us a little bit of an insight behind how some of the animators and shows save money. It was a cool moment. They do it by hiding their mouths, doing a wide lens view over a crowd, panning to the back of the character's head while they're speaking, and some other niche things. It was very cool that they put that in there, but honestly, I got some low-key hints of the creators of Invincible giving some jabs to the fans and the audience. It's kind of petty, but it was kind of cool to see it from their POV. They also talk about how they're not funded enough, they don't have enough money, and that's why they have to do shorter episodes or shorter seasons. Again, it's a little insight, but I feel like they're kind of coming at us, the fan and the audience of the show. Shit was petty. I told myself I wasn't going to crucify these guys, but these bums made me so mad. We waited so long for 8 measly-ass episodes, and they did a part 1.2. But enough hate, let's try to get into it. So as we see in episode 7, this man Cecil is truly a demon. Cuckboy is over here playing God, and everyone is starting to see it. He's over here making hybrid monsters, okay? He has Donald and one of the astronauts having extreme PTSD because they are under the light being put back together time and time and time again. Donald sees this by examining himself. I'm talking straight Terminator style. Opens up his arm, he sees metal. It's crazy. It's very, very dark as well, but we get a little insight on the lengths that Cecil is willing to go to keep the Guardians, the staff, and the world in check. Then we get back to Mark. You see what I mean by the show jumping around? Mark finally comes to an ultimatum on being with his girl or a superhero, or so we think. He will definitely end up shooting himself in the dick. This is what he always does when he comes to these types of dilemmas. And it does happen. He meets another Viltrumite. Y'all know how it's going to go, right? He's had so much success with the Viltrimites, right? Wrong. And Anissa is about that action. Whew! This shit ain't sweet. The Viltrimites are really about that action. Again, Mark is cursed with showing his strength, this time in front of Anissa. She wants to see how strong he is. She wants to see how strong the son of Omni-Man is. And he has to do it by proving himself in a fight against this big, water-bound Cthulhu beast-built mug. Don't worry, he fails. He has fought many monsters, and it seems to show that he always comes up short. Mark has to eventually have a breakthrough, even if it means losing himself. If not, he will never, ever be able to save Earth. It's just simply not Mark's day. And Anissa, being OP as most Viltrumites are, shows her true power, follows him as he's getting his ass whipped by Cthulhu, and saves the day. Even though she is an imposing force just like the rest of the Viltrumites, she isn't trying to be too masculine, that monster hunk that Mark is used to, and that typical Viltrumite stigma. She is daunting, but she's actually talking and trying to hear him out. Interesting, but I'm getting the type of good cop, bad cop vibe, the mom versus the dad routine. It's more of a motherly tone that maybe Mark will respond to, but she's still a Viltrumite. And Mark hates Viltrumite. The deep-seated hate for the Viltrumites is nothing comparable in this show. And he continues to tell her that he is not one of those, which is a slap in the face. She then, being the Viltrumite that she is, shows her true power, and it is very, very impressive. They begin their fighting 1v1, and this man, Mark, again, is on the brink of going 0-4 versus the Viltrumites. Spoiler alert, he does. Since he's so afraid of being his dad, so afraid to be a Viltrumite and lose control, he gets his ass handed to him. Don't worry though. At the end of his ass whipping, Anissa does him a favor and takes off into the multiverse. Before she does, she tells him, you need to become stronger, you need to embrace your Viltrumite legacy, or we're going to come back to Earth and kill everybody. But we do get some good news at the end of the episode. Mark gets a phone call from old big head Mr. Levy. And he is holding Debbie and Oliver at gunpoint. Mark's life right now is going just great. So yeah, that's episode 7. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of slow. It's all over the place. But as we came to know, this is what this animation is about. Along with that, there is something that I want to dig a little bit more into. The intro, where it shows his name, Invincible, you notice that it's red and black, but slowly but surely it's cracking and becoming that blue and black. I think that's a subtle hint telling us that as bad as he does not want to be his father, as bad as he does not want to embrace the Viltrumite that is inside of him, he is slowly but surely chipping away. It's sinister, it's heavy-handed, it's dark. We can see that he's cracking under pressure, and if he wants to truly see his potential, he's going to have to crack completely away, embrace his Viltrumite legacy, and let it take over. Just a little something that I noticed. I haven't seen anybody doing any reviews or talking about that, and I noticed that in the intro every single episode. They always say something cheeky, and then it leads up to them saying Invincible, but I think that's him slowly losing. Episode 8 of part 2, they pissed me off so much that I just went ahead and joined these 2 episodes together. And I mean, they really did. They fucked us by making us wait so long. We get 4 episodes. It's half as long as season 1, and it's not that good. Essentially, it's like a drug. The highs are very, very high, you want more, but the lows just piss you off. And that's how we stroll into episode number 8. So following old Big Head McGee, aka Angstrom Levy, we get to see his Doctor Strange impersonation. This man's creating portals left and right. Some may feel bad for him, but I don't. He is a trash-ass villain. He looks funny, his origin story is weak, but somehow he ends up becoming the main villain of this. One positive and uplifting thing about Invincible as a whole, they do run the show like a 90s cartoon. I think that's what's so enticing to me, and I think that's what initially drew me to this. You never know what villain's going to pop up. They always start each episode with some no-name villain to accompany the main villain. This Mr. Levy is trash, and he needs to be dealt with. His whole gimmick is he is a true genius who is trying to save the world in every single multiverse. Well, that's simply not real life. In this episode, we are stuck with this bum-ass main antagonist, even though he is finally able to make Mark break. After sending him through dimension after dimension, it does what it always does. This show is like a guy with ADHD. It's funny, but it's a little bit weird. And what do I mean by that, you ask? Well, we get a Spider-Man cameo. We get a Walking Dead cameo. And we get a Batman cameo. I hate doing this, but I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. These producers have ADD, ADHD, I don't know, but they can't stay on course. This shit's annoying. Maybe the comics reflect it, but the way that it transitions over into animation is terrible. I truly don't understand that. We want that great, violent, intense battles with all types of cool shit that we saw in season 1. But they're having us follow along and throwing in silly cameos, short seasons, and other dumb shit. I mean, what the hell? Like, Chainsaw Man and those boys over at Mappa are working their ass off doing top tier. And then you got Amazon over here, or the writers of Invincible, and they're just dropping the ball. Again, maybe I need to read the comic books or something, but it's just silly. But, of course, we can't have him stuck in the multiverse. So Mark gets back to his world finally for the grand finale, the climax, the fight of all fights. And of course, they go into another multiverse. As you know, I hate multiverses. If you can't tell, it's the truth. It's trash. Mark finally breaks, though. Mr. Levy is the only person to get Mark to go to those limits. He becomes Omni-Man. Mark becomes what he fears most. And this is a very cool part of the show, so I have to give credit where it's due. Mark snaps. We get flashbacks when Mark's dad is whooping his ass. The famous, the infamous, think Mark, think. He's in the exact same position as he pile drives Miles destroys Levy. Left, right. It is true poetic justice. This is the peak of season 2. This is what they were trying to gather. As we switch gears, we finally get to see Omni-Man. As we all know, our favorite villain, our favorite anti-hero, we finally get to see him. He is on a ship and he is getting ready for execution. But they want to execute him when he is at his peak. So they've been slowly training him, slowly rehabilitating him, and everybody's favorite Viltrumite is putting on a show. He is finally acknowledged and fit for duty or execution, and as he is going through these trainings, he is showing why he is the number one Viltrumite. He is slaughtering people. He is killing people left and right. And then C comes in and he talks to him. He's like, you are finally ready. As he's finally broken down, 2 guys grab him and something weird happens. They say, you know what, Mark? You know what, Omni-Man? We've looked up to you for years, but we will kill you. We see the reflections throughout the whole series. It's very important because they are bonded and they're blended together. We finally see Mark's first kill. He finally embraces that he is a Viltrumite and he does not know what to do with himself. Also, we see Omni-Man. He is fully rehabilitated. It's going to make for an interesting season 3. Season 2 was shit. It made me very upset. I read some things online saying that season 3, they want every episode to be a grand finale. I'm very looking forward to it because season 2 dropped the ball. I was going to compare this to an anime. If you watch some of my other and recent reviews, I did throw this in the same category as an anime. I may have to retract that because season 2 dropped the ball, but I'm hopeful. You still have a fan of me. I will be watching season 3, but that's the review. 8 short episodes over way too long, almost a year. DT Burdett, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about Invincible Season 2. Drop it in the comments. Let's get something going. Until next time, I'll back at your boy.